Okay, and as you can see now, our basic paint is done. The actual coat paint is not so strong, so what I will do next is all the paint that's dried, like for instance, the first thing I did was the overalls, so they're nice and dry. I will apply another coat of paint, and then I will keep going until it looks nice and smooth. And as I said, the big thing that I like to do that will make that smoother, if the brush strokes don't smoothen up after a couple of coats, is like get a bigger brush and kind of go over it. Another word of advice I have is don't do two things that touch each other together. So like for instance, I did the overalls, I did the skin, but unfortunately they kind of overlap a little bit here. So you're getting blue paint that's wet, and then you're getting flesh color paint that's wet. But what I'm going to do next, as I said, is I'm going to do a bit more coats on everything and make all the paint look solid. And then, of course, we're going to start worrying about details such as the eyes, the eyebrows, the mouth, and then the buttons. Those are really the only like big details on this that are not just solid colors. But I'm going to go ahead and more or less coat everything in paint a few times, and then get back to you once I get to my detailing step. But that's going to be a few more coats of paint after this. But as you can see, something that was once completely white, which I like to print in white PLA because it's better for painting, is now lots of colors. But we'll get back when I have more painting done. And as you can see here, with just one more quick coat of the blue, if you compare it to the red, how you can see all the brush strokes and how like there are light areas, dark areas, the blue looks nice and solid now. And that's just one more coat. Now, when this dries, I might see some spots that need touch up, but in general, about 2 coats of paint on most surfaces, unless it's something like purple, like when I painted Grimace. Typically 2 coats is good. When something is a certain color like purple, it like requires a bit more, but yeah, not so bad. Everything is looking really nice now. So, yeah, no problem. And I'll just do that with all the rest of this, and then we'll go on to our detail stage. Hello, and welcome to another Game Nexus cereal review. Today we're going to be taking a look at this cereal here, which is Great Value's limited edition chocolate mint cereal. Now this one wasn't one that I had planned to even buy when I was at the store. I just went to the cereal aisle and I saw that there was a chocolate mint cereal. I've never seen that there was even one before, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And you know, it's a Walmart brand, so it was like $2 or $3 for this 16.5 ounce box. And chocolate and mint is one of my favorite flavor combinations. So, yeah, I figured I'd give it a shot. On the back here, they just have this, like, silly match the ice cream cone things. And then, of course, there's the answers if you wanted to cheat. 12 servings per container. A cup and a third per serving, so nothing too amazing. So let's go ahead and get right into this and see what we got. And that was probably one of the easiest boxes I've ever opened. It wasn't like overly stuck, so it didn't feel like I was going to tear everything terribly apart for once. And let me see if we can get some chocolate mint flavor smell in here. Yeah, it actually does smell really good, and it really just looks like Oreo O's, honestly, if you see the picture there. They kind of just look like Oreo O's. So let's pour some in and see what they look like. Okay, there we go. Put this back there, and let's see what they're like. Oh, wow. The mint flavor really hits you really hard when you taste that. And of course, it's a very similar chocolate O, like an Oreo O.
Yeah, that's really nice. Let me just hit it with some milk and we'll see what it's like when you traditionally have it for breakfast here. But so far, I'm actually really impressed for just a generic Walmart cereal. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and I just noticed now that I'm getting a closer look, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but the dots, instead of being white like an Oreo O, they're actually green. Oh wow, let me try that again. And I can honestly say I am really pleasantly surprised with this one. It's a very good tasting cereal, and since like chocolate and mint is one of my favorite flavor combinations, in fact like the chocolate and mint Oreos with the mint cream that you see in the store, those ones are my favorite. This cereal is right up my alley, and this is a really good cereal that I just randomly found at Walmart the other day, and wasn't expecting like an off-brand cereal, not only to be like a limited edition, but you know, to actually be good. So, if you're like me and you like the combination of chocolate and mint, and of course you like breakfast cereal, by all means, give this cereal a try if it's at your local Walmart. It's surprisingly really good. It's not like a knockoff of any other cereal, so it's kind of like their own original thing. So I'd highly recommend, if you can find it at your Walmart, get some of the Great Value chocolate and mint cereal. It's surprisingly good, even though it looks so utterly plain. Well, this has been another Game Nexus cereal review, and I shall see you later. Bye.
Okay, well now you'll see we got some basic like base coats on everything. So now I can focus a little bit more on the details, as I have Mario's face more or less painted with its normal color just fine. So like some of the fine details here. And the good part about this is you really don't have to worry about getting this exact on your first try. So basically we're just trying to get some color on the eyebrows here. I'll touch up whatever I miss or whatever I don't paint so well later, because the good thing is once the paint dries, another coat of paint can go right over it. As I always said, just like with any of the other coats of paint that I did on this, your first coats of any color are going to not look so nice. So you just don't expect it to be perfect the first go around. And then like you'll see like how the sideburns are kind of not so great. So we'll just come in. And that's one thing I always like to say whenever you're painting anything. The closer you get to the end, the smaller your brushes get. So by the time you're done, you're using fairly small paint brushes in order to do some of the finer details. And especially if you're like painting a small action figure as opposed to this like 1.5-foot statue of Mario here, you're going to be using some pretty small paint brushes. But basically what we're looking to do is refine some of the fine details that the broad or larger brushes really didn't do so well. And what I would basically do now is let all of that dry. And then another thing I gotta do here, of course, that's blaringly obvious, is Mario's eyes are kind of his face color. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is paint them white. And this will probably take a couple coats of paint, because we want not only Mario's eyes to be completely white, we don't want any of the flesh color to show through. And of course, I want the white of the eye to be completely there. And of course, I'm just kind of showing it to you here, but it's a lot easier to paint anything when I'm not having to hold the camera in one hand. But it's more or less for illustration purposes. Plus, as I always said, your first coats of paint on any character are not going to be the best. They're just going to be just to get some color on there. And yeah, that's basically the gist of what we're doing here. And what I'll do is if I see any places on the paint here where there's like too much paint and it's not drying as quickly, I'll come back with the brush and I'll smooth it out a little bit. But that's basically what you got going on there. And in fact, I could even do, let me just wash off the brush here. I think in the actual picture I saw, I actually just had the mouth painted red, so let's just go ahead and do that. If I don't like how it looks, I can actually come back and change it, but I'm just gonna do, because I believe that's how they have it looking, but so far I'm not 100% liking how that looks, but you never know, in a revised version maybe it'll look a little bit better, or I might be able to use a deeper shade of red so it doesn't look like Mario's wearing lipstick. But for now, that's our basic gist of doing Mario's details, because now the eyes have to dry, the eyebrows have to dry. I'll probably do a few more coats on the hat and the shirt, because as you can see, the it doesn't look perfect, so another couple coats with the bigger brush will make that look a lot better. And with that, I got plenty of this bright red paint here, because I got a 8-ounce bottle, so plenty for that. But that's how we're doing right now with Mario, and I will probably go over a lot of the surfaces with a little bit more paint. The overalls are looking all right. They're not perfect, but they're getting there. The gloves need a bit more paint. His face is not bad. I might need to touch up a little bit here and there, but that's basically where we're sitting right now. I'll probably do a few more coats on some of those things to make them a little stronger, as you can really see it on the hat. But I can honestly say, as far as the filler goes, this arm is okay. This arm is going to need a little bit of work, which I will do later, and then I will repaint over that. But yeah, we're doing pretty good on this 1.5-foot Mario statue here, so let's I will go ahead and get some of that done, and I'll be back with you in a little while. Okay, and as you can see, Mario's face is looking a lot better now, so I'm going to try my very best to freehand his eyes right now, so you'll see that's kind of the picture I'm going off of. Although the mushroom that I did is kind of not so straight because the arm didn't work out as well as I had hoped, but here goes nothing. Let's just see if I can kind of sort of not really get this quite right here, so basically, all you're trying to do when you do something like this is just get the basic shape down. If it's not exactly right, don't worry about it, because you will come back later and revise this about like 80,000 times, so it's no huge deal. Anything in the border is not a big deal either. I'm just kind of trying to give him that like wide-eyed look that Mario always has. So, and I decided to go with the navy blue because in all the pictures I've seen, his eyes look a little bit darker than like his pants are, so that's why I decided to go with this darker blue color, and then we'll eventually paint the black and the white on the inside of the eyes. But that's a decent start, but just like with the white, I'm probably going to go over this at least a couple more times, because you want it to look solid. You don't want it to look like there's not more color there, but you can kind of already see Mario's face coming out here just with a little bit of navy blue in his eyes, so it doesn't really take much. Like, you think to yourself, oh, to artistically make this character look like they're supposed to look, it takes a lot, but no, a couple of strokes with the brush and you pretty much have your character. But the paint's still drying on his hat, so that'll eventually dry, and if I need to go a few more coats over, I'll do that. And then I'll eventually do the white on the part where the M is supposed to be, and then eventually do the M just like they have there. But it should be a bit more of a blocky letter than they have it on their picture. But yeah, I'll make sure I do it how I want to do it when we get there. But yeah, this is where we are right now. Details are starting to look nice, and eventually we will have Mario looking all official here, so you'll see me in just a bit.